All right, 1 is obviously Flag, 2 is obviously Harper, 3 definitely should be Edgecombe. I'd be very surprised if it weren't. Now, Hornets at 4. I would also be pretty surprised if it weren't Trey Johnson, but less surprised than Edgecombe. So, yeah, I guess Johnson. I think he can take some scoring off of LaMelo and Miller. 5 is tricky. I think Jazz could totally go with a guy like Khan or Kasparas, maybe even Fears. Probably not Malawach. Don't think Ace. I don't think Ace wants to be there. He doesn't. So, Kasparas. 6, Wizards, they kind of have to take an upside swing. So, they take Bailey. I don't love Bailey, but I think the Wizards are kind of just in a position where they should just be taking someone like that. Like, they could take a Fears, and I honestly think Fears has a better upside. I know people talk about upside with Ace, but, like, potential is just a word that they throw around for him. Like, he's never reaching that potential that they want him to be. As a decision maker, he just is not ever going to be much better than he is. So, Ace right there, 7 Pels. I think Khan. They could also take guys like... I could take a Fears, probably not. I think Khan fits the best. And then 8 Nets, Fears. They need it. They need a Fears. Fears would be a beautiful fit there. Pels is a bit interesting. You know, if Ace lands, if Ace falls to there, I think they do that. So Fears. And then Raptors at 9. I think Malawach is a beautiful landing spot there. They could also take maybe like an Asenge. Don't think a Queen. Their front office obviously loves length. Carter Bryant, maybe. I don't like Carter Bryant as much as a lot of other people. So Malawach. Then Suns are a bit interesting. I think it's a bit too early for Neek, and I don't know if that would be the pick anyway. I think CMB would be a good pick for sure for the Suns, but I don't know if that's what they go for. But I'm going to say CMB. I think CMB could fit at a lot of these teams from the next, 5 to 10 picks, which makes me think he goes a bit earlier. Because if he's a great fit for all those teams, one of them is going to take him. So CMB, Blazers, Asenge, if he's there, that's got to be their pick. It's a perfect landing spot for him. Adds length to that already great defense. Who just added Drew? That's a scary defensive team, scary young defensive team. And he can play small forward, power forward, probably more small forward. With their power forward there, I'm forgetting his name, who's awesome. And then 12, this is tricky. I think if CMB or Asenge are there, I imagine the Bulls take one of those. I think it's possible they take Coward. I think they might even take an Asa, which I would not like. Asa's okay. I think Powell, it's a bit too early for him. They might even think about a Joan Behringer. They should get a big. Sorber, for sure, is on the table. Fleming would be cool. But Queen is different from all those guys. He's an upside swing. If the Bulls are fucking serious, they would need to take Queen. Or I think Wolf is possible too. I think an offensive-minded big would be awesome. But at the same time, a defensive-minded, they just need a big. Whether that's power forward or what. So let's go with Queen. I think if CMB's there, they probably take him, like I said. 13, Hawks. I really like Neek there. I think it's also possible Jace. But I'm going to go with Neek. Spurs again. This is where the mini slide for Carter Bryant stops. I have them taking him. He doesn't need to be much there. He can be a 3-and-D guy, which is what he's going to be. I doubt he's ever much more than that. OKC, they have their pick of the litter with some great options. And, it's only like 5 more picks before it's a bit of a drop-off for sure. So I'm going to say Sorber. Because he's a good backup option. He can be a great defensive center. He adds to that defense. And he could, year one, totally be a rotation guy. Fleming at 16 for the Grizzlies. I think that's a beautiful fit. I think Fleming could go earlier, but I think 16 to 20 is that sweet spot. I think any of those teams would love to have him. Maybe not the Wizards, I don't know. But Fleming, he could be on the Wolves. He could be on the Nets. He could be on the Heat. I would love him on the Heat. I think that's ideal. But him on the Grizzlies. Honestly, Grizzlies could take a few guys. They could go with one of those other bigs. They could go with a Coward. 17 T-Wolves. Cedric Coward. He can have time to grow. He hasn't played many D1 games. We know that, but his measurables are great. He's very skilled. He's going to be a good player. 18 Wizards. Demon would be the right pick. Demon's cool. And the Wizards can use a creator and can use a guy who's got solid upside and an offense initiator, and that's what Demon at his ceiling could totally be. 19 Nets. They could go with Asa. They've already picked. Who have they already picked? They've picked Fears, and that's it. So I like Asa there. Lob threat. Can kind of dribble a bit. He's always been pretty solid at that. He's not much of a shooter. He's not much of a playmaker, but I think he could totally grow. I'm not really an Asa hater. I just don't like him the top half of the teens. Then Heat. I have Wolf here, but I think they could go with a few options. They could, Thiero would be awesome there. I think even Clayton would be awesome. And he stays in Florida. I can see them taking Saraf. Jace. But I had them taking Wolf. Not very confident with that. I think Wolf has a big window of all the way from honestly all the way from 12 to mid-20s he could fall. I know Celtics fans think he's going to fall to 28. That's ridiculous. Then again, I have Jace falling there in this. So Heat go with Wolf. Could be Powell, could be Thiero, could be a lot of these guys. Clayton, Saraf, Behringer, Jace. They're kind of a mystery to me, I guess. They've got some solid picks left. 21, Jazz. They could take an upside swing guy. Not crazy upside, but an athletic guy who could totally be a great role player. They don't have too many pieces. They can take a swing for a guy like that. Nets, Thiero. They've already got Asa, so I don't really know about that pick. I think even Kobe Bryant could be on the table. Saraf, I have the Nets picking later. That could be the pick right here. Maybe Behringer. But Thiero. Pels, Cockbrenner. I don't know about that pick. I don't really like that pick. I don't know why I put that. Who could the Pels go with? So with this question, it's do they really love Misi? And even if they do, who are their backup big? They don't have options with their bigs. So maybe not Cockbrenner. Maybe Behringer goes before Cockbrenner, honestly. I think that's more likely, but I think his skill set is closer to Misi's than Cockbrenner's is. Cockbrenner can come in and be a great defender right away. He'll be solid. He'll totally be solid. I don't think his career will ever be crazy, no doubt, but he's going to be in the league for a long time. 24 OKC, they can take a pure shooter here with Kobe Brea. That'd be awesome. And then 25, Waller Clayton gets his perfect landing spot with Orlando. Maybe perfect landing spot is Miami, but both of the Florida teams, it's not just because they're Florida. Those are just both great options for him to fall. Nets with Saraf. Saraf is good. I like Saraf. Nets with Behringer. Celtics, I have Jace falling to 28. I don't know about that. Jace is another guy where his window is huge for this draft. I think his measurables might just have ruined a lot of his draft stock. But I don't think he falls to 28. I think one of these teams has to take him, whether that's the Magic would be a great spot. I think OKC it's possible. But they've got size in their guards. But Jace could be good for OKC, but I think Brea, maybe he's the pick over Brea. I don't know. But I like Brea to OKC a lot. Suns, 29, Traore. He's got good potential. He can be a good point guard for them. They don't have real point guard filled in. And then Clippers at 30. I think they probably get Cockbrenner here. I think that's ideal. I know I have him going at 23, but I think that's ideal. But I have him taking McNeely. One of those teams a bit earlier could take McNeely. You could go to I don't think the Celtics. I think the Nets he could totally go to. I think Behringer could go 23. And then the Nets take McNeely with one of those picks at 26 and 27. And then Cockbrenner at 30.